this morning.
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Good to be here. Um, so we are living everyday wonder, and this month we're talking about the body. And it is really important for us to recognize that our body is a communication device with the divine, to absolutely know that that is so. And so we are not to deny the body. We're not to, a lot of traditions say, oh, the body, to forget the body, you have to go to spirit. Well, it's all spiritual. It's all God. God is right there in the spirit, in the life, everywhere, everything. It's all God. It's all God. Hard to remember sometimes, but it's true. So there was a monk back in the medieval times. Now, of course, they didn't have printing presses back then, and so the monks were given the task of copying the sacred books. And of course, those sacred books, they were worn by the time they got to be copied, and so they might have some candle wax on them, they might be missing some pages, they might have smudges and, food dropped on them, who knows what. And so they would do their best to try to transcribe what they said as accurately as possible, but not necessarily the right thing. So when this particular monk passed away, he goes to the pearly gates, and of course St. Peter says, "What would you like? You're in heaven. What would you like to do?" And he said, "I would really like to see the original copies of the sacred texts so I could see what it really said." And they said, "Absolutely. Okay, we'll take you down to the Heavenly Library." So they take him down to the Heavenly Library and they leave him there. He's so happy. He's going through the pages and everything. They leave him there. And a little while later, they hear this blood-curdling scream. And they run down there and say, "What happened? What's the matter?" And he said, "It says celebrate, not celibate." Ernest Holmes says, body is mental and spiritual. So body is not just physical, it's mental and spiritual. Body is not to be denied. We are to affirm that the body is a combination of spiritual ideas harmoniously expressing life. The body is a combination of spiritual ideas harmoniously expressing life. So this body is the only thing that we have full control over. And we don't really have full control over it sometimes, but it's the thing that we can do something about most accurately because it's right here where we are. So we're not to deny the body, we're to celebrate the body because we can use it to move closer to God. We can realize that it is telling us lots of information, that it is a magnificent conduit for the presence of God. So, I was, back in the 70s, I was working as a programmer. I had some friends who had quit their jobs and they were traveling in Mexico for several months. And then they went to Guatemala and they rented a place for a month. And they emailed me and said, come down, come down. So I had just finished this huge project and it was like, yeah, I'm going to Guatemala to visit my friends. So while I was going to be gone, I figured I'd have my car fixed because it needed work. So I dropped my car off and a friend, my best friend, picked me up from the car place and took me home. When she left my house, all of a sudden I had this overwhelming feeling of sorrow and sadness, like I would never see her again. I was weeping. And my rational mind is saying, what? You're just going away for a week. It's not a big deal. What's the deal? So I thought, well, ignore. And I go off, I fly to Guatemala. I'm there for 3 days, and we have a 7.5 earthquake. You know, the whole building is shaking. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning to a 7.5 earthquake that lasted for 33 seconds, which is the longest 33 seconds you will ever experience. And for some reason, I woke up standing up. I had been in a sleeping bag. I woke up standing up, and the whole room was going like this. And there was a water tank on the top of the room, and the water was pouring down the walls. And so I tried to make it to the door, and the door jamb was going like this. And I just sort of ran into the door jamb and just held it there as I heard my friends running out of their room going, expletive, expletive, expletive. So anyway, so we ended up staying there for 6 more days of up to 7.5 or 7.0 earthquakes, aftershocks, right? So I thought when I experienced that earthquake, I thought, oh, that's why I was weeping, like I would never see my friend again, because I am never going to see her again. This earthquake is going to kill me somehow, some way. But then I realized, okay, I thought I was in control of my life, of everything. And I realized, no, you are not in control. There is something greater here that is in control. And you better find out what it is, and you better get in tune with it, because that's how you function and you live in this life. So I practice what we call surrender. I surrendered to where I was, being totally present in the moment, every moment. When I finally got on the plane back to San Francisco, I, of course, wept again. And it's like, oh, I survived. And when I talked to my friend, it turned out she had had the same experience when she dropped me off. When she left, she was crying like she wouldn't see me again. And she said, if I ever have that feeling again, I don't care where you're going and when you're going, you are not going. So, you know, the body knew. Something in my body was trying to tell me that this was not going to be an average vacation by any means. But it was a necessary vacation for me to learn to surrender to the something greater that I absolutely knew was present. So it's really important to listen to the messages that our bodies tell us and are giving us all the time. You know, something doesn't feel right. We get gut feelings. We get goosebumps, which we call God bumps sometimes, because we have an experience of the presence. We have something that touches us, and we react with these little bumps all over our body that just feel like a chill, but it's also an excitement, a thrill. So the body is showing us the infinite intelligence of divine mind. And it tells us that every single day. It is beating our heart right now. It is breathing our breath. It is miraculously transforming matter into energy every time we eat, right? It's a magnificent thing that we're absolutely able to transform matter into energy. You know, that E equals MC squared, we're doing that without even thinking about it. Transforming it into energy. It tells us when we're doing something harmful. It also tells us when we're doing something that's good for us. I talked to my sister yesterday. She took a kayak trip. She kayaked up Lake Natomas, and she and her partner kayak up the channels, and they see great herons and great egrets and turtles sunning themselves, and just, they have this wonderful experience. And I can always tell she's just high. She's just high from that physical experience. So the body tells us, oh, whew, yay, life, more life. We're also a world unto ourselves. Every single cell is a conscious entity in the mind of God. Now, it's not necessarily one that has volition, as the quote that Carol read said, but it is tasked with intelligence. It is doing what it is supposed to do. The blood is circulating. It is oxygenating. The lungs have provided oxygen. It oxygenates our organs. They take care of all of these wonderful functions of removing toxins and dead cells. It does all of this work all the time without us having to think about it at all. It is the divine mind at work and at play in us. So our cells are listening to what we're thinking. Are we celebrating our body, or are we denigrating our body? Are we talking about how fat it is, how ugly it is, how flabby it is, how saggy it is, or are we saying, wow, I have this body that is functioning on planet Earth, a gift from the divine mind. So, as part of my daily practice, I bless my entire body every single day. And I mean, I touch it. I touch my feet. I bless my toes and my arches and my heels and my ankles. And I bless my calves and my knees and my thighs and my hips and everything. Bless it all the way up to the divine mind, to the mind of God in me. And it's the brain that is still able to be the vehicle for the divine mind to transmit to me. And I bless it all. I give thanks for it. I am grateful for it. And if I have forgotten something, for a while there, I wasn't blessing my shoulders or my arms, And it was like they started aching, and I thought, what's wrong? And I thought, I haven't blessed them. So I started blessing my arms, and they were fine. It was like they were giving me a little message that, hey, don't forget us. So bless, 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 bless. Let's bless all our senses. I can see. Wow. I can hear. Amazing. All of the wonderful sounds on this earth. I can taste all of those beautiful tastes that we have available to us. I can smell, the flowers, the lavender, the rosemary, all of these things, these smells, these tastes. Let's see, who have I forgotten? And touch. I can touch. I can feel. I can give you a hug. I can feel your heart. You can feel my heart. So we're grateful, grateful, grateful for all of these things that our bodies let us do. And they're finding that our bodies can do more than we even think. Some of these senses, they're just doing some studies, and they did it first in Russia, and they're doing it here now, where they find people who can detect colors in their fingertips. They can detect a color in their fingertips. And we've all probably heard about synesthesia. The synesthetes see colors when they hear music. So they have these other aspects of the senses. So we can all realize that, they also have synesthetes that can taste textures like round or pointy. And, I am thinking I'm tasting textures. It's either smooth or it's crunchy or, all that kind of stuff. But, we have these different aspects of each of these senses that can be developed and nurtured and expanded upon. So how great is that? Back in the day of that monk, they only recognized 4 elements. Now we have 118. But then they had 4 elements. And the elements were earth, water, air, and fire. And I remember going to a retreat where we sang, earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. And we sang that song. It's just a great reminder that we are connected to the earth. We are the earth. We are the divine. This body is a divine aspect of the Infinite One. We can also detect things like when we go to a sacred site where people have been praying for 1,000 years, we can feel that prayer. We can feel that consciousness of people coming together and celebrating the sacred. And that actual feeling, that feeling of being in the presence of the sacred, is present everywhere if we are open to it and allow that realization. We know the sacred is right here in this building. We know the sacred is in the parking lot. The sacred is even in the 7-Eleven. The sacred is everywhere because there is no spot where God is not. The thing is, our bodies, as Carol mentioned, our bodies respond to our thoughts. And I have to say, the news can be upsetting. And Michael Beckwith, Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, used to say, the news is our prayer request. So what do we pray for when we, see the news and react to it? We get upset, we get angry, or we get sad, or we feel our heart broken. We get all of these feelings. What do we do with that? Well, the prayer is for the greatest good unfolding for all concerned. Whatever that may be, however long that may take, we pray for that experience of the greater good being made manifest. And we are then open to what is ours to do in relationship to whatever this is. And listen, because each of us has gifts, and our gifts have to be given. So we have to listen for what is ours to do. Maybe it is going to a demonstration. Maybe it's writing a letter. Maybe it's writing a check. Maybe it's doing volunteering. Whatever it is that is ours to do, we need to listen and we need to do it. We need to do it because we are each playing a critical part in the evolution, not only of consciousness, but of life on planet Earth. We are all participating in the weaving of the tapestry of life itself. And each of us has to fulfill our particular role. So this week, make sure to take time to listen to what your body is telling you. Really notice and follow its advice. What shifts and insights and ahas might you get from this very magnificent tool? God is not present in our body. God is our body. Let's take that to prayer. So we open in this moment to that realization that this physical expression that we call body is the presence of God itself. That every cell has a divine intention for a greater good to be made manifest in us, through us, and as us. That the all good is always given, giving all of that love, all of that peace, all of that harmony, all of that wholeness, all of that grace, all of that beauty, all of that truth, all of that inspiration, all of it present in the infinite potential of that energy of life itself that is right here, right now, in, through, and as each one of us. And so I claim and accept for each one of us that opening to that realization of this body and the wonderful information that it has for us, and the wonderful ability that we have to be the eyes, the ears, the hands, the feet, the presence of God, doing the work of the divine, to bring forth that greater good, to be a beneficial presence right here, right now. And so I am grateful for this greater realization, for this greater experience of surrender, this greater experience of wholeness, this greater experience of oneness that is being made manifest. As I release my word into the law, knowing that the law responds by corresponding to this energy and makes it manifest. And we affirm this truth together as we say, and so it is. Thank you.